You're sniffing everywhere and it's genuinely making me nervous. If you poop or move the tripod, we're fighting.
Okay, let's try this.
Hi, welcome to 2026. My name's Jamilah. Welcome to this channel. Hopefully I do better this year with just editing long form content and getting it up in a timely manner, because we all know it takes me forever to edit and actually get it up. And that's out of just pure poor time management and like low-key laziness. Clover, back up, bruh. I wanted to go into 2026 just talking about my finances, being transparent, talk about my situation. Maybe somebody can relate, maybe you can't relate, maybe I just make bad decisions, which is very, very accurate. So we're just gonna dive into basically me talking about my financial plan as far as 2026 goes and just where I'm at since I work in the North Carolina education system. So I saw last night where a lot of states raised their minimum wage to $15 to start the year off, which is awesome, and I'm so happy for everyone in those states. However, North Carolina is not one of them, and it kind of had me feeling some type of way because the minimum wage being raised to $15 is not far from where I started as far as my current job position, which I should probably tell you before I keep going. I work in the North Carolina education system as implied in the title. I work in a library. I am currently the library assistant. However, I cannot move up in my library or any library in the state or any library in the nation without my master's degree. However, I realized just a little late in life that I actually really enjoy being a librarian and just all of the duties that it entails. However, I am currently just the assistant, but I do way more than I should for what I get paid. Which brings us back to this video. When I started out in this position, which was fall of 2024, still processing that we're in 2026, but fall of 2024, I think I was starting out at $15.57 per hour. So because I don't have my master's degree, I am a classified employee, meaning that I get paid by the hour instead of the salary. We are coming off of winter break, which tends to normally screw me all the way up as far as my end of the month paycheck in January. Something that I have learned, of course, every state has a different process for the education system. Every county has a different way of their payment as far as education goes. I have a family member who also works in education, and the county next to the one he teaches in gets paid at the end of the month just like I do, but the county that he works for, they get paid bi-weekly. A dream, if I'm being completely honest. So we got paid December 19th and we won't get it paid again until January 30th. So imagine making my crappy little paycheck stretch that long. If I show up every day to work and I do more than the 35 hours that I'm supposed to work every week, I will bring home less than $2,000 a month. My full-time job pays me less than $2,000 a month after taxes and everything is taken out. I do, because I'm 26, I am responsible for all of my own insurances. At the current moment in time, I only have health insurance. However, I may or may not need new glasses, or I'm still kind of debating on if I need new glasses or not. But if I do, then that means that I need to add vision insurance, but that is very pricey. However, we are still deciding on that. And then I have just been trying to get really, really good about my oral hygiene routine in terms of doing better with flossing and switching over to TheraBreath, and just hoping that that works out for the next couple of years until I can get paid more and afford dental insurance, because that's where we're at in life. So when health insurance and all the taxes and things are taken out, I bring home less than $2,000 a month. We have averaged between $1,600 and $1,900. So since we're still talking numbers, let's talk about North Carolina overall, because a lot of people that I've met who were able to escape the North Carolina education system can attest to just how bad it is, especially in terms of curriculum and all this extra stuff that they want you to do, but where is it showing up in our paychecks? So last year, North Carolina was ranked number 43 for educators' pay. So teachers' pay, I'm assuming teacher assistants were also considered in that. Custodians, anyone involved in the education system, your pay was ranked 43 out of 50. And I understand sticking it out for the kids. You stick it out for the kids, you stick it out for your coworkers if you're fortunate to be placed in a really great school. So for me, I have a group of freshmen that for my 1 year of teaching that I just absolutely loved, became attached to. Well, those kids don't graduate until 2027, so I was like, okay, I will leave with you guys. And I have fortunately worked everything out to where I can leave in 2027 if this video doesn't get me fired. You fall in love with the kids so much that like you stick out for them. And then also for me, my coworkers, some of them they are family. They are not even coworkers anymore. They're family first. And even then, I have like a really great principal. Like I absolutely love my principal. However, I don't think my principal's like supported enough. So we talked about how North Carolina is number 43 for teachers pay. Now let's get into again how we have no support, but you want us to do all this, that, and the third. Towards the end of the fall last year, 2025, a report came out saying that North Carolina is number 50 for educational funding and support. We are the lowest of the low for getting the finances that we need to continue to be great in our education system. What? So not only are teachers not getting paid enough, but you're also just not giving funds or providing funds to give us the material that we need to be great. Because supporting teachers, it goes beyond paying them enough. Like there are supplies that we need, there are resources that we need, and instead, from what I've even seen on my end, being in the library assistant, I work with technology a lot. Not only are you not providing funds for teachers to support their students, but you're also cutting off services and restricting digital resources that make it even harder for them to teach. Going into my specific finances and me surviving, I have made plenty of financial mistakes. Plenty. And I'm not blaming it on the fact that I did not have parents there to teach me. However, it would have been great if I had parents there to teach me. I didn't. And so I've made mistakes, and I am dedicating the latter half of my 20s to bouncing back. So that way by the time I'm 30, I do not have to worry about crazy amounts of debt. My goal is to just get it all down to basically student loans. That would be fantastic. And even then, I mean, the education system and being a teacher is no longer a profession or professional or whatever that whole thing was. So maybe like our student loans also, get erased. If you're gonna erase our career, just erase our student loans while you're at it. Going back, I would love to bounce back from my financial mistakes because I've learned a lot, and I am kind of tired of watching my paychecks like literally disappear. And I'll give you a breakdown here in a second about where my money is going. I said a long time ago on my podcast that I put myself into debt and I'm going to get myself out of debt. And considering I don't have a husband or anyone supporting me financially, I'm going to get myself out of debt and I am going to work towards that. However, this year, the goal is to simply survive. I am going to give you a breakdown of all of my bills that I know for a fact that I can sort of pay every month. And you're probably going to say, like, you should give some of this up, I have a vision. I have a side hustle that I'm working on, and in order for me to do that, I have to invest in just a tiny, tiny bit. I already gave up Adobe Creative Cloud, and that is really unfortunate. As someone who works in the education system or as a student, because I'm also a student, I get a discount, but even then the discount just brought me down to $37.44 a month, and that just started to add up, because if I can save $37.44 a month and put it towards, eating, that would be fantastic. Breakdown of the bills. We have SiteGround, which is $34.99 a month. SiteGround is the hosting company that I use for my website, which is very, very important to me. And again, side hustle incoming. I have Spotify, which is $7 a month. I have the Spotify student account, so I gave up like full Spotify premium and just have student premium, but I need music. Music's how I cope. We have Epidemic, which is roughly $17 a month. Again, it's like the music that I use in my YouTube videos, the music that I use on my podcast, the music that I use literally on any sort of platform. it comes from Epidemic, and paying that fee every month basically covers copyright so I don't get fried. I recently joined Planet Fitness because they have their $1 down deal, which I would rather go to the gym when it's $1 down instead of $49 down plus $15 a month. So I went ahead and took the $1 down deal for a year. So I'm only going to go to Planet Fitness for this year. I just really need to go to a gym. I live in an apartment, but it's a very interesting apartment situation that I'll explain when I move out. But basically there's no gym with this apartment because not even really an apartment complex. Again, very complicated to explain. We'll save it for next year. But because of that, I really need to go to a gym. I need to work out. I feel like that'll help my mental health a lot. And I think that's part of where just the dwindling with my mental health kind of happened last year. My car insurance at the moment is just a solid $100. And then I have my car notes / a loan. Again, bad financial decision. I took out a loan and refinanced my car to help cover some of the debt that I had accrued. So I'm basically still paying off that debt, but it's just all now consolidated. Because of that, it is $457 a month for my car note as opposed to $406, which is what it previously was. I have a student loan with Discover. That is not a part of my federal student loans. So that is $62 a month. My rent currently is $900 a month, although it's going up to $930 in August. Netflix, I pay $8 a month. I have the most basic Netflix package. I need some sort of visual entertainment. I watch things on Prime Video via my grandparents' Prime account, and I have Tubi. I pay for Netflix just because I would like to watch something. I don't have cable, and I don't know, I need some sort of visual like entertainment to, escape reality. I will call myself rich when I can afford Netflix and Hulu. Okay, this I'm not proud of, but in the moment everything seemed great. I've talked about it before on the podcast where I had a roommate situation. We lived together, we worked together at Home Depot, blah, 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 blah. Well, because of that, she wanted a giant TV, and at the time, I had a really great credit score, so I went ahead and got a Best Buy credit card and bought the TV with that credit card, and kind of accidentally, not forgot about it, but kind of accidentally forgot about it. So now I owe Best Buy $47 a month. Like I said earlier in the video, I've made financial mistakes. I'm owning up to it. Don't fry me. It's a part of being in your 20s. Like, it genuinely is. And if you're in your 20s and you're not making financial mistakes, I'm so happy for you. I'm a basic person. Okay, and then my internet is currently $64 a month. It is supposed to go up either later this year or next year. I might switch internet for that, or I might do my grandma does and just call and yell at them until they keep my price down. Because I need a new phone, I had to up paying 99 cents for iPhone storage to $2.07. So I need a new phone. The combined total for all of that alone is $1,714.07. Okay, that does not include 2 other credit cards that I have to pay off, my federal student loans, and my utilities. My utilities, it varies every month. Honestly, I don't know if you watched my Vlogmas situation where my house overheated twice. We don't know what my utilities bill is going to look like for January. I'm going to be very real with you. We have no idea. Me and my landlord are supposed to talk about it, but then somebody wasn't picking up their dog poop. It pissed her off. So I don't know if we're still going to talk about it or not. It also does not include 3 very important things. Food for me, gas for my car, and Clover's needs, which is normally just Clover's food. And I can buy one 18-pound bag of food and it can last for roughly a month. Currently, the way that I've been buying food, gas, and supplying Clover's needs is either with money that has been given to me through like Christmas or birthday gifts that I just made last for forever, or, drum roll, with my other 2 jobs. So I do have 2 other jobs, and they have kind of been helping me in like barely making up those last few categories as far as utilities, food for myself, gas, and Clover's needs. Gas, I will say, has not been, in my opinion, it hasn't been bad. And I know I get fried consistently. Like, I get it. I hear you. I know everyone hates me for driving a Kia Soul. Like, I get it. However, given my current financial situation, driving a Kia Soul is actually really, really good for me because it does not cost that much to put gas in her, and the gas mileage takes me far, okay? I already kind of mentioned one. I work at an after-school program. I do work there twice a week. We get paid bi-weekly. We just watch the kids, do activities with them until they leave. Because I'm an hourly employee with the current school system, I really am only supposed to do 35 hours a week. I have reworked it to where I can leave early 2 days a week to make it to my after school program and still hit the 35 hours a week that I am required of from the school system. School gets out at 3:30, but there's 2 days a week where I leave between 2:30 and 2:45 to get to my after school program, and then I stay there either until they tell me to leave or until about 6 o'clock, which is when it closes. Another job that I have that I quit, and then I came back because someone else left, is a restaurant. Now, working at the restaurant is very, very tricky. A, because my manager is super, super sweet, and she's someone that I've adopted into like the family that I've made around me. Because of that, she tries to make sure that I have time to A, do my schoolwork, and B, rest and not overwork myself the way she overworks herself, if I'm being completely honest. And she'll say it, she'll admit it too. So because of that, sometimes I don't get enough hours at the restaurant. However, I just worked winter break and I got about 3 days in. On the day that I'm filming this video, actually, I go into work tonight, but I'm also an early out. And that's where it gets tricky, because if I'm an early out, I'm not gonna make a lot. And if it's not a busy weekend, I'm not gonna make a lot. Working in the restaurant industry, if you've done it or you do it, you know it's very contingent on just who am I, like who are my people? Are they gonna tip me well? Are they rude? How's that gonna go? And then for us, it's like the amount of people in the party, because if there's a specific number of people in the party, then there's an automatic gratuity applied. However, I believe someone told me that if we don't hit at least like that minimum wage per hour, which is still only $7.25, but if we don't hit that per hour, then they kind of like meet us where we're at. So technically I get paid $2.13 an hour plus tips. However, if like we don't have any tables or whatever the case may be, then they come back in and they give me my extra $5 so I can at least get minimum wage. With the restaurant, I mostly work Saturdays just because of that Monday through Friday schedule. And then school starts, like for my master's program, on January 12th. So that's going to be time that I need to commit during the week to making sure I get my assignments turned in on time so I can get paid more next year. I think that's everything as far as just like finances and survival and trying to make it and trying to come back from, how old am I? 27? Well, I'm not 27, but I'll be 27. So just trying to bounce back from but I think I stopped making errors when I was 25. So this is me trying to bounce back from about 25 years of financial mistakes. And granted, of course, I wasn't making these like financial mistakes when I was a baby, but I definitely feel like growing up, I could have learned a lot more about money. And that just kind of falls on not having a great childhood and good teaching parents and blah, 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 blah. If you stayed to this point of the video, you're absolutely insane, but I love you for it. Let me know if I should talk more as far as like working in the education system in North Carolina and just kind of like exposing it and everything. I know that like a lot of people are always like, well, why don't you just leave? I have to financially be able to leave. It's better to wrap everything up at the end of a school year than to just try to dip in the middle of it all when you realize that you're not getting paid enough for something that brings you joy. And with that, I do want to add that I was making definitely twice as much as I make now when I was a teacher, but I wasn't happy. I cried every day for a month. I accidentally made some of my students feel bad and made them feel like they were the problem. They were not the problem. It was just everything, like literally everything that goes with being a teacher in this state. It gets to be too much. It pisses you off. It overwhelms you. Like it's just a lot. And considering I don't have a bachelor's in teaching, my bachelor's is in interior architecture, which also did not bring me joy. But because I don't have like that initial like teaching degree, I only really got to teach like 1 year for free before I had to go back for my licensure, and it just wasn't worth it. So I took this position to stay with my kiddos that I grew very attached to and to have some semblance of a consistent income, not knowing how far back it was going to send me financially. but it brings me joy. I have found joy in this setback, and I'm so happy. I love my job. I've talked about it on the podcast where the environment could be a lot better. So I'm going back to school to get my master's so I can get out of being an assistant. And it's not just about getting paid more. It is about knowing my worth and knowing that I currently do way too much work for what I get paid for. And it's not just because North Carolina does not pay their educators and the education system jack crap. It is just because like work gets put on me, and it's a great learning opportunity, and I'm happy that I have learned a lot from the work that is put on me. But I've been put in way too many situations where I'm like, I don't get paid for this. I want to get paid what I'm worth in that sense. So getting my master's and moving up and moving out of the state is very important to me. But I have found joy in what I do. Okay, spiel completely done. I'm gonna go make a smoothie now. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to see what this year has in store as far as just videos on this channel. And I hope that you tune into my days in my life that I have started as far as YouTube shorts go. It was just so fun. It's so easy to do it during Vlogmas that I was like, why have I not kept doing this? So instead of it being days of our lives, it is days of my life. Ahaha. I thought that was clever. Probably wasn't. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. I love you all.